Remember at the start of my CSGO review I did that bit about not uploading much because of uni, and I kinda snuck Xenoblade Chronicles 3 in there as a reason, like haha. That would never happen again, would it? Wait, let me just... My last upload was supposed to be a reaction to the opening night of the Summer Games Fest, but for some reason when they announced the date for Spider-Man 2 it kept on getting flagged for copyright. I tried to re-upload it several times and it never worked, so I gave up for a while to let the issue get resolved. Other people were reporting it and whoops, there goes 3 months. So, to make up for this, and the 5 months since the last review, I'm going to pick 5 random games off of my Steam list that probably wouldn't be enough for separate videos, and cram them all into this one. This does mean the amount of games reviewed on this channel will see more artificial inflation than a rabid Sonic fan on a Discord AI image generator. Starting with...
Just as it has always been, when our memories of the ancient world fade into twilight, a new era dawns. Just as it has always been. Just as it has always been. Just as it has always been.
Civ 5 is a turn-based strategy game that I've spent nearly 500 hours in, yet do not have a clue what I'm doing. I briefly tried other games in this vein, such as Hearts of Iron 4, but Civ 5 stuck with me more as it's way easier to get into when you start, and I am very stupid. Sure, you could strategically set out a plan and organise your time and resources into achieving victory, or you could play the game like you would Farmville, exploring the map, making the tiles and your borders look nice and pretty. And, the occasional conquering and total eradication of fellow countries to a level that would make Genghis Khan weak at the knees. There are tons of customization options within Civ 5. You can change the size of the map, how the turns are played out, what difficulty the AI are, what win conditions there are. You can play as tryhard or as casual as you'd like. You can all gang up on that one friend and settle 37 cities all called Poopinville outside their borders. But the ideal way to play Civ 5 is to grab some friends, choose random civs, and make a drinking game of it. What an egomaniac, what a fucking absolute psychopath. I found Biblos.
I already like my new city name.
Why don't you Biblos these nuts, knobhead? Wow.
That's racist.
Do it. What?
The cooperation and conflict between players can make for a very fun time. However, Civ 5 is a game released in 2010 that feels like it was released in 1910. The more players you have in a multiplayer lobby, the greater chance that it will just stop working for no reason.
Oh, but this turn could change everything.
Oh my god, so much shit just came through.
Oh. That's not...
It's affecting my PC outside. The game's closed. My PC is bricking itself.
Ooh,
yeah, I've got no menu at the top of the screen. I can't. I've just got
my icons are slowly turning off. Everything's turned off.
The mods available in the Steam Community Workshop would be very fun to play multiplayer as well, but unless you have some pretty excessive workarounds, you'll need to do multiplayer vanilla. I'm sure the multiplayer is better in Civ 6, but when I tried it when it released in 2016, I did a solo game, placed a city down, and got immediately rushed by an AI because I didn't have enough warriors, so the game ended in about 3 turns. And I haven't been back to it since, so I guess I wouldn't know. Although I do need to give Civ 6 another go, because I'm sure it went through the exact same process as Civ 5, where the base game releases and then 2 massive DLCs drop like a year or 2 later that compose the actual game. For Civ 5, these important DLCs are the Gods and Kings expansion and the Brave New World expansion. Which is fine. The complete edition of Civ 5 goes on sale on Steam at a rate that rivals your local GameStop trying to flog off the several thousand copies of Anthem they were burdened with. So overall, it may be old, but a charming type of old, like your nan's curtains, or your great uncle going one whole Christmas dinner without being racist. And for that, it gets a 4 out of 5. Next is Valheim, the Chrono Lucifer of video games. It took its setting from God of War, its world generation from Minecraft, its combat from Roblox, its hitboxes from CS2, its base building from 7 Days to Die, its crafting from Terraria, the necessity to have a wiki up on your second monitor for the crafting from Terraria, its level system from RuneScape, its textures uses technology from the PS1, its lighting uses technology from the PS5, and its release cycle is copied from DayZ. Now, I'm sure that 45-year-old Dale from South Dakota gets home from his 50-hour trucking shift and has a blast with Valheim, but something about the game really slows down for me around the second boss. But maybe that's because I've only ever played it in co-op, and just like the annual 2-week-long Minecraft phase, everyone just stops playing, meaning I've never really given it a chance after that point. I would go back and try and finish it solo, but if I wanted that experience of getting bored with an open world survival crafting game, I could just launch any other Steam game released in the last 10 years. And hey, therein lies the rub, it's just another one of those games. But I suppose as everything works together well enough, it doesn't need to be special. For now though, I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I'll amend the score, but I'll do it much later than I should do, like I'm the second marker of a finance dissertation. I would describe PowerWash Simulator as an extremely good podcast game. Not because of its relaxing and menial gameplay, but because the sound of the pressure washer is extremely good at blocking out the sound of podcasts.
Welcome back to Impulsive, the #1 podcast in the world. Good to see you. Good to see you coming at you.
Mason Troy Adams.
This entire genre of simulator games is really funny to me. Video games are an escape from reality, a chance to get immersed for a while. But Dale from earlier finishes his shift and hops onto American Truck Simulator. It's probably due to how inherently cathartic finishing a job can be, spending hours methodically working through sections of whatever you're cleaning, an extra 20 minutes searching for the very last little area that you missed that you can't find, and then finishing it to view the time-lapse of the entire process, which is a very nice touch. The gameplay is very standard and what you'd expect. The upgrades you can get are a nice touch to speed up jobs as well. The only grievance I had with it is the fact that the game divides the completion up by surfaces. The game ticks off that surface as clean once you'd finished a certain percentage of it, which is great for massive walls as it means you can leave a large chunk of it and it will auto-complete, but can suck for smaller, harder to reach surfaces, especially anything close to the ground. If I had to clean the underside of a car, I would just spray and pray like I'm Prime Pasha Biceps.
As Pronax finds Snack. Oh, Pasha! Elbow motor club! 4 frags in 4 seconds!
But after completing about half the missions, you've noticed there are some common themes, some recurring characters and areas, and oh god, they've only gone and had the gall to add a storyline to my brain off power washing game. And it's not bad either. It's absolutely batshit insane though. Initially I only installed it to try out my new Steam Deck at the time, but I ended up binging it to completion. It's definitely way better on mouse and keyboard, but it's serviceable on controller. So I think this game gets a 3.5 out of 5. However, I haven't done the Final Fantasy VII or SpongeBob extra levels yet, and you guys know how silly pilled I am, so if they keep on adding these wacky levels I might just have to up that score. Remember back in 2020 when the pandemic had just started and people were putting obscene amounts of playtime in trending games? The launch of Animal Crossing New Horizons, the sus Among Us, the spy season of Fortnite, and of course, Fall Guys. More like Fall Off Guys. Am I right? Off the bat, Fall Guys gets some points for being the closest video game equivalent to Takeshi's Castle that will ever release.
Very courteous, bowing very low and sinking even deeper.
You run, you jump, you can fall off, but it's generally not favourable to do so. It's definitely one of the simplest games I've ever played, which can definitely be a positive if you're on babysitting duty and need to shut the little shit up for 10 minutes. Couldn't think of a better game. But for me, it's just a perfectly adequate game. It's fun for a short while, but anything more than that and it can get really repetitive. It is unironically more diverse in its lineup of collab skins. It's hard not to give any points for having the Scout, Master Chief, Hatsune Miku and Terry Bogard in the same game. It is also a rare instance of a game that gets worse when you play it with friends. The team games don't guarantee that you play on the same team, and if you get knocked out you just have to sit on the hotel cuck chair and spectate the rest of your party until they're out. Whereas, in single player you can just GG go next. So I think it's around a 2.5 out of 5, which sounds harsh, but then you remember that literally just means it's average. I feel like it gets forgotten that a 6 out of 10 game should be considered better than average, especially when anything that scores below 70 on Metacritic gets discarded faster than features on Twitter every time Elon Musk loses custody of another child. Speaking of hard to control fuzzy little skrunkloids, the next addition to the Gang Beasts series. Oh, wait, no, hang on, that's wrong. It's the newest addition to the Human Fall Flat franchise. Well, that's not right either. Oh, it's part... the newest entry into the genre of the exact game over and over again. I guess the benefits of party animals over the other two would be the queue times being quicker due to it being the current trendy Twitch bait, and if you want to play dress up with the aforementioned fuzzy little scrunklies. There are two main game modes that you'll come across. The first is a last man standing knock the other players out to win mode, a la Fall Guys, and the second is an actually fun little 2 to 4 player team sports minigame a la Fall Guys. Jesus Christ. If I wanted to play the same game over and over again, I would just play League. Wait, that wasn't funny. Sometimes a joke can go too far, and it's my obligation to make amends. If you or a loved one is suffering from a League of Legends addiction, you can find help from the link in the description. Together, we can overcome this. Also, just like Fall Guys, the controls can be quite frustrating. Throwing and climbing are very inconsistent. But Oscar, you say? Oscar, the controls are meant to be like that. It's part of the game's hecking charm, Oscar. It makes it more chaotic and fun. Okay, viewer, I hear crack is bad on purpose and makes life more chaotic and fun. Maybe you should try that. Unlike Fall Guys though, Party Animals is fun for a while if you have friends to play it with. A party of 4 being the optimal size as it gives you a full team for the online matchmaking, but any more than 4 and you'll be forced to set up custom lobbies, which remove the team games for some reason so you're just left with the worst ones. Those are still fun for like 20 minutes at the most though. However, the game's biggest subversion of expectations was after downloading the full game for the first time and seeing all of the game's cosmetics were obtained through a gacha system. And not just any gacha system, it's identical to the one found in MiHoYo/Hoyoverse games, down to the presentation and the pity system. And we all know that the feature Genshin Impact is most celebrated for is its gacha. Come on. This is fucking nerve-wracking. But thinking about it, that is actually quite strange to see from a Western indie company on the Xbox Game Pass nonetheless. That's usually... oh, never mind. The company's made up by ex-Tencent employees, that's 2.5 out of 5, business as usual. Well, those 5 games should even out the fact I have like 4 React videos ready to go and 20-something Twitch highlights needed to be done. So I'm just gonna leave it there before I start reviewing absolute monstrosities off Steam like Anime World War II, Cuckold Simulator and Apex Legends. But thank you for watching. You can find me on Twitter, where I retweet stuff from people that are actually funny, and Twitch, where I might get around to playing Yakuza 3, eventually, sometime.